Hello, I'm Richard Lindley with the ITN World News. I'll be bringing you the main international developments. The headlines. The world's leading industrialized countries agree a $43 billion aid package to Russia. After the Srebrenica massacre, signs that the arms embargo on Bosnia's Muslims may be lifted. And there are warnings following the latest violence that South Africa is on the brink of chaos. First, the Group of Seven, the world's strongest industrialized nations, has agreed on an aid package for Russia of more than $43 billion. The total, which was reached at a G7 meeting in Tokyo, was almost 50% bigger than had been expected. The 7 countries involved are Japan, the United States, Germany, France, Britain, Canada and Italy. It's the Russian President, Boris Yeltsin, who can be expected to derive most support from the timing of the announcement, 10 days before the referendum on who rules Russia, president or parliament. The G7 package is a clear Western endorsement of Mr. Yeltsin's attempt to convert the Russian economy from communism to capitalism with a short, sharp shock. In his latest maneuver to increase his chance of winning in the referendum, he says he'll issue a decree overriding Parliament's insistence that a majority of registered voters must take part for the result to be valid. He says a simple majority of those who actually vote will be enough.
The G7 package includes $15 billion in debt relief, $13 billion from the International Monetary Fund to help Russia prop up its collapsing economy, and $4.5 billion from the World Bank to help rebuild it. All this on top of previously announced plans to reschedule $15 billion in debts of the former Soviet Union. Although the checks won't be written out to Boris Yeltsin personally, the G7 leaders made it quite clear he's the man they trust most to spend it.
The process of reform being implemented under the leadership of President Yeltsin is facing a critical juncture with a referendum scheduled in 10 days' time. A clear political message was sounded out at this meeting, in that the G7 would collectively support Russia's reform effort and to continue to rally behind President Yeltsin and the reformers.
The President has decided it's in the interests of the United States and its citizens to build on the earlier package of assistance announced in Vancouver in order to promote even greater Western support for reform in Russia.
Russia has welcomed the G7 package as a major step forward, but in Moscow, President Yeltsin continued lobbying for his referendum plans. The view here is that the aid will come too late to affect the outcome. Those already supporting the president will be pleased. Those opposed will argue it shows Russia's growing dependency on the West. The majority will remain skeptically apathetic.
The United States is threatening to ask the UN Security Council to lift the international arms embargo on Bosnia's Muslims unless the Bosnian Serbs sign a peace agreement. President Clinton's special envoy to the Bosnian peace talks, Reginald Bartholomew, is in London to discuss the issue. The British government opposes arming the Muslims. The European Community peace mediator, Lord Owen, says there's a danger that if the ban is lifted, then Russia might arm the Serbs.
That's certainly something that will need to be considered and, if necessary, pursued in consultation with others if we do not quickly come to a settlement.
You have spoke with Mr. Churkin in the Belgrade. Will you say something about it?
This is something that is well known, that has been discussed a number of times. Right now, though, what we are concentrating on is getting an early settlement, and what is being discussed in the Security Council is getting a UN resolution.